The Honey Exchange was founded in 2011. Before that, I was a stay-at-home dad who perhaps had too much time on my hands and had started keeping bees. And then Megan came on board the next year, and so we took something that had become a passion and tried to turn it into a business. So we have always educated beekeepers. We used to teach 12 students in the kitchen, and then when the pandemic forced that onto Zoom, our classes have now outgrown our physical space. So we have a Zoom class where we teach about 70 students every year how to keep bees healthy and what to do, the different chores that we have to do every time of the year. We were looking around for a place to be and just stumbled into this wonderful little space. It's a 200-year-old home.
So at the Honey Exchange, we do some production, lots of different honeys, different times of year, and candles, and also some spiced honeys. We add ginger, garam masala, cinnamon, lemon, vanilla to honey, and those make a delicious spread. Oh, and blueberry. We have a blueberry honey spread, which is amazing.
We teach beginner beekeeping, and then for those students who want to come back and revisit the material, we have a sophomore beekeeping class that we teach as well. So we're always here for them. The beekeepers really like having a place that's open 6 days a week where they can pick up the phone, and when they're in a crisis or they have just puzzled by what their bees are doing, they can pick our brains about it. So another of the favorite things that I do as part of my job is to go out and do educational programs for different students. I see lots of second graders because in the state of Maine they study insects at the second grade. So I'm asked by teachers to come in and talk about my particular insect. I should mention that I am an EAS certified, the Eastern Apicultural Society certified me as a master beekeeper, which means I've passed a battery of tests that demonstrate my understanding and proficiency in the world of beekeeping.
You know, this time of year, we're in honey harvest, so from July until the end of October, we're harvesting honey, not just our own honey, but for other beekeepers. They drop off their honey boxes, we call them supers, and we spin it out for them in our centrifuge, and we'll either bottle it for them or send it home in a bucket. They can bottle it for themselves.
So there's a store about one thing. I've seen that at the grocery store. It comes in a little squeezy bear, doesn't it? And then they come in and they see that honey can be every color from water white to coffee dark. It can be every flavor that you can imagine. And it can be made into alcoholic beverages. It can be made into a spread. It can be made into a jam. And then beeswax can be made into 100 different things, from candles to hand salves and lip balms.
Maine honeys are fabulous. They're very different depending on the season. So spring honey can be nearly clear, like we call it water white, but it's like a very, very pale yellow. Very floral, very delicate, delicious. But they're all so good and they're all so different, and they're all so perfectly suited for people who live in Maine or are visiting Maine because you're tasting Maine. We have a honey tasting bar here at the Honey Exchange so people can taste different honeys. And more than a handful of times it's happened that somebody's been going down the line, you know, tasting the honey, and then they'll go, "Oh my God, what is this honey?" And it turns out that it's a honey from where they're from. And they didn't know that it mattered to them. And it's not a fluke when that happens. It really does make a difference.
People come in curious and they go out saying, "Oh my gosh, I found my new favorite store." We have people who literally just come in here because they need to feel a little bit better. And that makes us just as happy as somebody who comes in and spends hundreds of dollars. So as people are out around in the world, you need to look at your environment and ask the question every day, am I making improvements to the world around me, or am I making problems for the animals that live around me? And the more often we can answer that question in a positive way, I think the better off we're all going to be.